Now, prepare your mind to encounter the most deep and pervading secret in the universe. Secret, but you already know it. Secret because we don't always recognize it. And that is that the existence of God is inherently known. At the depths of our soul, we know the Creator is there. We know He pervades everything. For the soul He gave us is a spark from Him. And therefore that spark is infinitely wise and has a sense of all truth and the ultimate truth of God's existence. And now we're going to get in touch with the truth that is inherently known. For the path of the original teacher of all these things, Avram Avinu, the patriarch Abraham, was to discern everything he saw in the universe and to break it down into the fiery processes of his mind until it was clear and worked out. And with that, take a deep breath and think that your mind can work so powerfully, your whole systems of reason, until your two kidneys, which are two organs in your lower back, one on each side, filter not only the blood, but filter all information to refine not only the blood, but to refine all knowledge until you have deep, deep pearls and jewels of wisdom and the ultimate wisdom, the divine law, which you can then learn and validate. For it was learned in the womb, it is inherently known in the soul, and when you learn it, it rings true like an old familiar friend and becomes part of you. And the ultimate truth that it all leads to is that the Creator is there lovingly watching us, that He's only one, because He's infinite beyond any infinity that we can imagine. And therefore He needs no one, and He is one, an ultimate one beyond all of us. He is one, and He's not physical because all physical things have limitations. He's only one. He is one, a oneness beyond what we can imagine. He needs none and is found everywhere, and yet also He's beyond the physical. And we know Him through His attributes that can be seen in the world. He is kind. He's like beyond a father and beyond a king. But those are attributes and metaphors that we can learn about His ways. So think about that. Your whole body churning knowledge and information that's seen and refining it to the valuable points. The valuable points that there's a Creator, and that is the path of the patriarch Avram Avinu, Abraham, the patriarch. And so your knowledge, you're getting in touch with this knowledge inherently known at the depths of the heart, deep, deep, deep knowledge in your heart that you know, and your sparked soul from the divine, blown in, so to speak, from the Almighty through the nostrils that knows all these things. And the kidneys process all the information and know and refine it and can know all these laws. And that's the lesson of the world. And the world has a consistent pattern. The good Creator created a consistent pattern of nature, but He's intervening and ultimately brings everything into recompense, all good deeds. He brings attribute for attribute repaid in this world, in the next world, ultimately the next world, and all failings, all mistakes accounted for either through repentance or through suffering or some ultimate accounting, everything. But one time in history, He showed in this world His intervention in ways that He hadn't done before, and until the ultimate redemption has not done since. One time to teach us that we can always reflect on that, so we can live in a world with consistent nature, because that helps us. We can design airplanes and other things because laws are consistent in nature, and that is good. But one time He intervened openly like never before to show us, and we have to focus on that, relive it every day, and become wise through it. And that time is the time of the 10 plagues, the time of Yetzias Mitzrayim, coming out of Egypt. And now we're going to deeply, deeply relive that, the 10 plagues, through visualizing and making it part of us. So take a deep breath and get ready to visualize it, make it part of you. We're going to engage in a process called Feinsteinian approach hypnosis. The sage Rabbi Moshe Feinstein said that hypnosis is effective, but is not always the most honorable thing to do to let somebody in your mind. Only if they really need it, and only then with somebody responsible. But if you stay in control and you just make yourself focus on things, not somebody else, then it's more of a self-hypnosis. It's more getting the message into you. So we could call that even Feinsteinian approach hypnosis. So get ready. You're the hypnotist. You're going to bring yourself under deeply to affect yourself. And let the lesson of the 10 plagues pervade your being and make it deeply, deeply part of you. And will help you. The visualization will help you. The imagery will help you. Now, focus. Focus. Let's understand the pattern of the 10 plagues. 3 plagues to show the Creator's intervention and justice on the earth. And then 3 plagues in the air. And then 3 plagues from the sky and the heavens. And then 1 plague from the highest thing in all creation. A direct hit on the soul of man, which is a spark from the divine. But the Creator is even beyond that and gave it a direct hit, the 10th plague. And so, focus, focus, focus as we go over the first 3 plagues of the earth, the 3 plagues where the Almighty showed His intervention and justice and mastery over the earth. And that brings us to the first plague of blood. Imagine blood. Imagine in ancient Egypt, the Egyptians were plagued with blood. The waters turned to blood. The Almighty intervened to punish them for drowning the Jewish babies in the river. And their waters turned to blood. And the innocent and those who had an affiliation to the one true God, their waters didn't turn to blood. And imagine water turning to blood. And in our own lives, imagine that divine justice and use it for our own benefits to improve ourselves in a pleasant way. In a pleasant way. As hypnosis should always be a pleasant experience. But fears have deeply affected that as you focus, relax. Let the messages pervade your mind. Let your body relax and place the messages deeply in you. In fact, you can associate with blood, the red blood that flows through your veins. And the connection that has to your body and the animal soul. For the animal soul, the life force is in the liver and in the blood, and we want our entire life soul to focus on the message that water is pleasant, but when it turns to blood, it's very reviling, and we would feel so afraid by that in a pleasant way, a good fear, a fear of God, a fear of not doing our best, a fear that we like because it makes us want to improve. Fear God and love Him at the same time is a wonderful thing. And so we're focusing on blood. And with that, our blood is relaxing us, helping us make this pleasant, relaxing our whole body till we're almost like asleep, but we're focused. The message is getting in there to the depths of us. We're relaxed so we're not distracted by anything else. But the message of blood, we're so happy our blood flows healthily. We're so glad we have water, but wow, if the water turned to blood, we get so scared in a pleasant way to improve, and we focus on that, the plague of blood. After that, we focused on blood and we're relaxed, deeply relaxed. Then we're going to think next, of course, that plague, the Almighty blessed and stopped the plague. And we're so thankful to Him. The blood flows normally. And we got pleasantly afraid and helped us to repent. And we see the Almighty's mastery of the earth, because water is part of the earth and the rivers turn to blood. So we see around, we think water and rivers and things all around us. Imagine all the water everywhere across the globe. All across the globe, every bit of water. Can you imagine? Turn to blood. Imagine that. Happened in Mitzrayim and Egypt, but imagine that. All blood. If everywhere all blood water turned to blood. Think of all water and make an association. It only happened in Egypt, but imagine an association of all water, how scary it could turn to blood. And therefore we see Almighty's mastery over all water and all the earth. And that brings the next plague in Mitzrayim and Egypt. Frogs, the frogs. Frogs are slimy creatures, aesthetically unpleasant creatures. Frogs. And their croaking is offensive, loud and offensive and distracting. And when they die and their nature of their skin and nature decomposes, very offensive. The odor, very offensive. And this was a punishment to the Egyptians. Because they slandered the Jewish nation and made it defiling and made it repugnant through slander and through oppressions. And therefore they were plagued, inundated by something that is aesthetically unpleasant and reviling, which was, of course, the frogs. So imagine that. Imagine a plague of frogs, something offensive and annoying and repugnant and slimy in a pleasant way. Hypnosis should be pleasant. You're afraid, but in a pleasant way, because it's making you better. You want to be better. You want to be the opposite. You want to see things in a positive light, make things aesthetically beautiful. But there they were, the frogs, inundating, plaguing. The frogs, everywhere the frogs, and the noise and the odor, make it part of you. Oh, you would not want to slander or anything you think that is reviling. You wouldn't want to do. You want to eat the right things. You want to make things look nice and make things right and make your character nice. See things in a positive way and not be oppressive to make other people feel repugnant. Take a deep breath. Let the image of frogs pervade you, and the message of the frogs, and the fear of the repugnance of it, desire not to want to be that way or want to be inundated by such a thing. Let that message and fear reach you. And it's a plague of the earth, because the swamps and the rivers brought forth the frogs. See, the Creator rules over all the earth around you. It's such a beautiful lesson. And the fear of that is so great and wonderful. It makes us love the Creator, because now the world has meaning. I'm part of you, deeply part of you. Wow. Now you feel how good it is that we have aesthetically beautiful things around us. We're not inundated by frogs. And the world smells pleasant. It doesn't have an odor of frogs. And the world, the noise is pleasant noise. We don't have croaking all over. We're so thankful that we've been so afraid of what was the opposite. Croaking everywhere, the offensive odor, and the infestation and unpleasantness of it in a pleasant way. Scared to make us better. Take a deep breath. And now we're going to think about the plague of the lice. Lice, kinim, little lice, bugs, little bugs, the earth, again from the earth, because the sand of the earth turned to lice. Imagine that, the earth brought forth lice. I think the Creator makes all the insects, their populations stay intact, in control. But imagine if their populations went haywire and there was kinim, lice all over the place. And they'd be so offensive in a pleasant way. Imagine it, because it's like people go to horror movies for entertainment, even though they're horrible, because they like being scared when they know it's not real, it's just affecting them. They're for entertainment. But here, it's just in your mind to recapture it. So imagine the plague of lice and the skin in a pleasant way to get scared, to make you love God, to make yourself improve. Lice everywhere. Lice get deeply relaxed. All your body from head to toe. Imagine yourself floating. You can transcend things with your imagination from one end of the universe to the other. You can connect to events back in time, thousands of years ago, 3,300 years ago, to ancient Mitzrayim, ancient Egypt. And you're focusing with a clarity on kinim, on lice, and the infestation, and pleasantly reliving the discomfort, because it's not real. It's just making you better. With every little bug that bites you, you're getting better, going to be more organized, going to be more clean. And it was a punishment for the ancient Mitzrayim, Egyptians, for exploiting the Hebrew slaves, the Jewish slaves, to pamper their bodies and their skin. And therefore their skin was affected with the little bugs. And so we think about that. We think about our skin. We're so glad it's comfortable. We want to take care of it. But we wouldn't want to exploit other people to do it, have the arrogance that other people have to take care of our skin. And so we see that. We see that the little bugs, we think about it, the divine justice of the little bugs, the divine justice of the little bugs. Take a deep breath. take a deep breath. Think about it, the Almighty's master of the earth, every grain of sand. Think of every single grain of sand. And the Creator, the good Creator, the blessed Creator, rules over every single grain of sand. And if He wanted, could turn every grain of sand into an unpleasant little bug that bites, called a kinim, called lice. And we make that message part of us. We love the Creator for creating every grain of sand in its right spot. And we feel every fiber of our being getting deeply relaxed, so we're focused like never before, and it's pervading our minds. And we're pleasantly afraid of God, who could bring lice, and love Him at the same time for making us better, making it the world possible, that we could do things that count, that are reward and punishment, and that we relax. We relax, take a deep breath. We've now covered the 3 plagues of the earth, the first 3 plagues. We've covered the plague of dawn, the plague of blood on the earth through the rivers, the plague of Tzfardea, of the frogs coming forth from the river, and the plague of kinim, the lice from the soil. And we look around the earth and think of everything on the earth, all the trees and all the grass, everywhere, everything on the earth, and the Creator's mastery over the earth, and His judgment and ultimate accounting for our deeds. He created the world, but also He took us out of Egypt. He intervenes in history and in nature. And according to our free choice, the choices we make, the moral choices, He brings good for good actions and punishment for bad ones. And we love Him for giving the world so much meaning and giving meaning and significance to our decisions. We take a deep breath. And we've covered the 3 plagues, and it connects to the number. We think about the 3 patriarchs that we said Avraham, Abraham, the patriarch, started, and he found there was one God and taught everyone about it, and you emulate Him for kindness. And we relax our right arm. The right arm represents kindness. We see God's kindness in the world. He gives kindness. We elevate our right arm. Feel the whole body relax. And the right arm, on the count of 3, lift the right arm. 1, 2, 3. Make the right arm feel stiff like a bar of steel. Pretend we can't move it as we use our mind to affect our bodies. On the count of 3, you're going to relax the right arm and go into deep relaxation. 1, 2, 3. Relax, but you're in control. You relaxed your arm. Your whole body's relaxed. And you're focusing and thinking about the right arm, which is kindness. You want to do deeds of kindness. And you want to love the Creator who does so much kindness. And you see the kindness and love Him. And want to do good things. And you're going to relax. And thinking about Avraham Avinu, Abraham, the patriarch, who taught that you emulate the Creator by doing acts of kindness. Acts of kindness. And now we've covered the 3 plagues. We're also going to think about the second of the patriarchs, the second of the Avos, Yitzchak, Isaac, Yitzchak, who is representing the left arm, which is pushing away discipline. And we're going to know to push things away that are wrong, that are bad, that don't deserve our kindness, that are bad influences to us. So relax the left arm, and the count of 3, you're going to hold the left arm out and make it pretend it feels stiff like a bar of steel. 1, 2, 3. Hold out the left arm, pretend it's like a bar of steel that you couldn't lower it if you wanted to. And on the count of 3, I'm going to tell you relax that left arm and go into deep, deep relaxation. 1, 2, 3. Relax the left arm, go into deep, deep relaxation, and elevate the concept of the left arm of judgment, of pushing things away, of knowing when to say no to things and giving things limitations and not letting things in that are bad influences. And relax, and relax. You know, we've covered the 3 plagues and thought about the Creator's mastery of the world, of blood, the life-giving blood that He rules over, and the rivers He turned in blood. And of course, the Tzfardea, the offensive frogs that He made come out. And then, of course, that every grain of sand became lice. Now we're thinking about the third of the patriarchs, Yaakov, and think about the torso, the chest, and the back. The chest, the back, and I want you to rock back and forth like when people are learning and studying. They rock back and forth and they're thinking. And think about the torso, and think about Yaakov, Jacob, the patriarch, who represents Torah study and the blending, how to learn how to blend kindness with discipline, kindness and judgment, chesed and gevurah, by rocking back and forth and learning the law, rocking back and forth as you're rocking back and forth the torso, elevating yourself and thinking about Yaakov, and that he taught that that's a great way to serve the Creator, and he could deal with difficult people and deceptive people and know how to treat people properly and know how to interact when people weren't dealing with him right. All these things he learned how to do, and how to pray to the Creator in the right way and to ask for the right things. And he understood that because he worked on himself, just like when a person learns and they move the torso back and forward and they're trying to get the right thing or to know the right prayer to say and get inspired. They're going looking for truth back and forward, working that torso to the whole body and soul going. And I want you to do that, rock back and forth. When I count to 3, I want you to relax. 1, 2, 3. Relax, go into deep relaxation. You're in charge, but let the messages penetrate and pervade you deeply, deeply, deeply. Take a deep breath and relax. We've discussed the 3 plagues of the earth and the 3 patriarchs, the 3 Roim, 3 parts of the Markava, of the chariot, and of the Sphirot. And then the next 3 plagues, which demonstrated the Creator's rulership over the air. Over the air. The air around us. The air that affects the nature. And the first of those plagues was the Orov, the plague of the Orov. The Orov is the mixture of wild animals. Wild animals. Think about where you are now. You live where there are people. And the Creator did something good. Very good. He always does. He made the animals afraid of you. So around where you live, there's certainly up in the hills, outside your town, there's some predator animals. There's bears or mountain lions. And the Creator keeps the bears from coming into your town. He made them afraid of you. And animals follow the air for instincts. And in Mitzrayim, something was put into the air that made the animals congregate. Animals were not afraid to go where the people were, and they weren't afraid to intermingle with each other. So bears came out, and nemers, different types of mountain lions, or lions, leopards, different leopards, and the Ari, lions, ferocious animals. They came and they terrorized the people. And it's an important lesson to think about animals, ferocious animals. The great sage, the Chazon Ish, teaches that the ferocity of animals and their capacity to be violent does convey to us a transcendent awe of the Creator. We need to have that awe. We need to have perspectives of the Creator that get deeper and more profound. And the wild, ferocious nature of animals gives us an awe, tremendous awe. So think about that. Think about that awe, that wonderful awe. Think about the animals. Think about lions in Mitzrayim and Egypt terrorizing, congregating with bears, congregating with leopards. Imagine that together. And imagine that. Imagine the fear of that, a pleasant fear, because it's an awe of the Almighty. It makes us want to be better. And there was a divine judgment why that happened. A certain exploitation was done to the Jewish slaves, and therefore the Egyptians had to have the animals come and ransack aspects of their lives so they should learn not to exploit. But we want to use that fear to become better in our own way and to become more disciplined in our own ways by thinking about that, by thinking about the animals, thinking about that, think about those animals. Tremendous, majestic power, transcendent ability to be ferocious and violent, and that gives us an awe of the Creator and a sense of His judgment, but in a loving way. Make it pleasant that you love the Creator, because there's not really animals terrorizing you now. You get to relive in your mind the Egyptian experience. And remember, original man has within him the powers on some level of all the animals. So let all the different animal instincts within us awaken our body and soul, to penetrate the depths of our mind, to feel the plague of the animals, the mixture of animals, till it makes us better people and gets us in touch with the experience of the plagues of Mitzrayim, so we have an awe of the Creator and a deep love and belief in Him. Take a deep breath and feel that from head to toe, and think about all the animals in the world and the wild animals, and they have that message of the Creator's majesty. It gives us an awe and a fear of Him. And as we think about the air around us, we can't see the air, but the air is there. And we know that there are germs that spread through the air. And we'll think about that. There was a plague. The next plague was a plague of sickness to the cattle. And we think about that, the awe that there's germs, microscopic germs that travel through the air. And we know that germs can spread through animals, can spread from animal to animal, sometimes animal to people. And there was sickness in Mitzrayim in Egypt with all the plagues. So people stayed in when there was plagues to think about the 10 plagues. And we want to think about them, relive them, and understand them. And feel in awe of the Creator's divine providence. He interacts with creation. He didn't just create the world and leave the world on a pattern. He recreates it constantly and intervenes and keeps an accounting of everything. And that gives our lives so much meaning and our decisions so much meaning. And so we think about the cattle dying in Mitzrayim, the cattle dying and the germs that spread through the air, and the Almighty's majesty of the air around us, all the air we can't see and things we can't see. And it makes us want to have clean thoughts because people can't see our thoughts, and to feel the Creator and all the things we can't see, and it makes a deep, deep impression on us. And we get deeper, relaxed and focused in our minds, Legs are relaxed, our whole body's relaxed, and we're focused, and the message is coming through, and it's making us better people of the air around us. And we breathe in the air through our nose and out through our mouth, and get deeply relaxed, lightheaded but pleasantly relaxed, and focused on the air around us, and afraid of what happened. The cattle died in a pleasant way, and afraid of the germs around us, and looking to the Creator to protect us from the germs around us, the many microscopic germs around us that we can't see, and we don't even know how they interact with the body and get the body to do things, but we trust in Him that He'll make our body strong and good and protect us from bad germs, and let us breathe good air that makes the body strong. And we relax, and we think about the dead cattle all over Egypt. Divine justice, dead cattle all over Egypt. But the Jewish people who believed in the one true God, and they were the victims of the persecution, their cattle didn't die. Divine justice. We have a love for the Creator. Take a deep breath and focus. And now we get ready to think about